Are you feeling overwhelmed at the thought of setting a ton of resolutions and changing a bunch of your habits and behaviors to try to be a better you for this year? Let's talk about why that might not be the best move right now and some things that you can do instead. Hi, I'm Natalie, and welcome to Sacred in Bloom. I'm a transformational coach who helps women who are going through midlife transition have more joy, contentment, and purpose in midlife. Today, I want to talk about goal setting and resolutions and some self care in the context of the energy of the season and how you can embrace that energy and be able to still move forward while honoring the energy of where things are at right now. So, in the last week or so, since the beginning of January, you may have had a bunch of people ask you, do you have any New Year's resolutions? Or you may have felt pressure to set a bunch of resolutions. However, wintertime is actually a time for rest and reflection and taking care of yourself. It is a good time for thinking long term about the things that you want to do. It's sort of like choosing what you're going to plant in your garden. Wintertime is a good time for that. You can start planting your garden, but you're not really planting any seeds yet. You're not going out and tilling your soil. You're just planning. So, we're going to talk about how right now you might be better off planning and thinking about what you want to accomplish this year in a larger context of, is it in alignment with your goals? Is it in alignment with your values? And is it in alignment with how you're feeling right now and the steps that you need to take to get there? And just start small. What I see so often is that women will think, oh, it's a new year, and it's that whole new year, new you kind of philosophy. And what happens is a lot of women set a whole bunch of goals. And the reason so many people end up maybe doing it for a couple weeks or even a couple of days, and then all of these resolutions fall to the wayside is because you're trying to do too much at once. Also, most of the women that I know come out of the holiday season feeling exhausted, overstimulated, burned out from all of the additional stuff that happens during the holiday season, whether it's seeing people, buying gifts, planning Christmas, putting up and taking down the tree if that's how you celebrate. There's so many extra things that are happening in kind of the November, December timeframe. To come out of that and into a bunch of change is not ideal. So I would encourage you to take this time to, yes, think about the goals that you want to set and the things that you want to see for yourself in the next year. And start thinking about how you're going to make those things happen, but give yourself some time for your nervous system to recover from the last 2 months. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't change anything or do anything if you are motivated to do that. If you're feeling that there's something that you want to do and you're excited about it, then sure, go ahead and do that thing. But just make sure that you're taking small steps and making small changes, and those are going to create momentum for you coming into spring. The other thing that I would like to encourage you to do during this time is to take some time to journal about the things that you did accomplish in the last year, even if they weren't things that maybe you originally set out as resolutions at the beginning of the year last year. Take some time to give yourself credit for the things that you did do, the changes that you did make, and the growth that you have achieved in the last year. Give yourself credit for that and look at what worked. Look at what you did last year that helped you to accomplish those goals. Write down your strengths that helped you to accomplish those goals and build on that for the next year. Write in the comments, what are some of the things that you would like to create for yourself this year, or some changes that you would like to make this year? And maybe some ways that you are starting small to make some of those things happen, or some ways that you are taking care of yourself to help you be able to have the energy to start on these goals and work towards completing them throughout the year. I saw something a couple of days ago, another creator who was talking about the difference between self-care and aftercare. She was talking about a lot of the things that we call self-care. So getting a massage or going for a walk or spending time with friends after a stressful period or when you need to lift or, getting your nails done or whatever it is for you. It can be journaling, it can be going for a walk in nature, but a lot of those things are actually things that we do because we're feeling overwhelmed, because we're feeling stressed out, and we're trying to use those things to get us back to a baseline. But the reality is, really, that's aftercare. You are trying to make up for potentially a lack of boundaries or overscheduling yourself. And those two can go together, right? If you're not being able to say no. So as I'm telling you this because I want you to think about the ways that you are going to take care of yourself this year. There is a place for aftercare. I make a list of things that you can do to take care of yourself if you have a really stressful time or a really stressful moment. But what I want you to do is to think about some of the ways that you can maybe prevent some of that overwhelm before it happens by making some changes to your schedule or by delegating some tasks or by looking at the things that you're doing on a daily basis and figuring out where those are in alignment with your values and also just with what's really important to you and looking at what things in a day are supportive for you and what things are you doing in a day are to support others. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be doing anything to support others and wholly focusing on ourselves. That's not good. But I think a lot of us sway a little too far to the other side where we spend a whole lot of our day potentially doing for others and putting off our own needs or putting off that self care that we need to keep our body regulated, to keep our nervous system regulated, to care for our emotional state. And then we only really manage it when it becomes too big to ignore or too intense to ignore. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that's helpful. Remember that growth doesn't happen overnight. And take this time now as a time to plan your garden. This is about choosing the seeds that you want to plant in the spring that are going to bloom in the months ahead. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.